Okay. So, welcome to the first web conference of the course, English Phonetics. This is the agenda for this web conference. This is the greeting that I already did. My presentation. Tax 1 initial activity, tax 2 consonant sounds, tax 3 vowels and fixtures. Then we are going to discuss the segmental versus suprasegmental fixtures. Then we are going to talk about IPA alphabet, then voiceless and voiced sounds, and place of articulation and manner of articulation. Okay, so these are the topics that we are going to discuss. Okay, so I'm Jennifer Murcia. I'm your course director. I'm your tutor as well. And then we are going to explain a little bit, we are going to talk about the tags that we already did. The tags 1 was developed, and even I give you score, so you can check your grades there. Here you have to design an infographic, and you have to read all as you can about phonetics and phonology, and about mechanisms of speech sounds. You have to include a picture of the speech organs, and name and explain 3 sounds. These 3 sounds must have the place and the manner of articulation. Okay, so remember that each symbol has different features. And the tax 2, that is the one that already ended yesterday. You have to read chapter 3 and get familiar with the IPA alphabet. I share with you the IPA alphabet, and even I share with you some videos where you can get familiar with it and with the sounds. And for this text, I ask you to focus on consonant sounds, okay? Then you have to record yourself pronouncing the consonant sounds, just the consonant sounds. Remember that the IPA alphabet has consonant sounds, has the vowels, and has the diphthongs. So for this text, just consonant sounds. And you have to develop some practical exercises individually, okay? Here you have to have in mind the consonant sound fixtures, and you have to make some translation to transcribe some symbols to the phonetic input, okay? And something that I required for this video was to show yourself. I want to see your face and mouth when pronouncing the sounds, because I need to see your performance in the articulation of the sounds, okay? And remember that we have articulators in our mouth that help us to produce the sounds. And also you have to show the symbols as you pronounce them. And this will facilitate the identification of the symbols and be able to give you meaningful feedback, okay? Even you can use posters, flashcards, or a screencast-o-matic tool. You have to give examples of the sounds within words. It means that you have to, for instance, you have to produce the sound of the consonant V. So you have to use some words that starts or have this symbol or this sound in it, okay? Because I want you to produce this sound not only in isolation, but within words. What happened? Sorry. Okay, it was a chat in the chat. Viviana, hello, welcome back, my dear. Okay, can you please write your zone? I mean, where are you from? Where are you living right now? Okay, it's important to know that as well. Okay, let's continue. Bogota. Okay, thank you. Remember that you have to write as in the in Adobe Connect the same the same rules, okay? So your zone, the SICAP or SIAT, okay? And your name, okay? It's the same. Okay, for task 3, that is the one that we are starting right now. Okay, today we have to start this one. Okay, don't worry, Viviana, it's okay. So for this, you have to read chapter 3, vowels, diphthong sounds, and you have to record yourself, create a diagram for the diphthong sounds, and develop the transcription exercises. Okay, in task 2, we was focused on the consonant sounds. Here, in this task, in task 3, we are focused on vowels and diphthong sounds, okay? In both. And then you have to record yourself pronouncing these vowel sounds, okay? And these diphthong sounds. Also, you have to create a diagram. I think that you have to choose 3 diphthongs, and you have to create a diagram for each one, okay? So this diagram is very easy. It is very, very easy. For instance, let's check an example. Diphthong O that is in the word toy. So you have to mark the movement of the diphthong, okay? What is a diphthong? A diphthong is a combination of 2 vowel sounds, okay? So it marks the beginning of the sound and one for the end of the sound, okay? So this symbol will be the beginning of the sounds, and this one is how the sound ends, okay? So that's why it is called toy, okay? So you have to mark the movement with an arrow, okay? That's it. It's very easy. And then you have to develop some transcription exercises, okay? Here you will be able to watch the combination of the consonants and vowels sounds, okay? Because in task 2, you already know about the consonant sounds. So for this 3rd task, you will be able to develop the exercises with the combination of vowels and consonant sounds. Okay, so we are going to talk about segmental versus suprasegmental fixtures, okay? So, these fixtures are independent of the categories required for describing segmental fixtures, vowels and consonants, which involve, for example, airstream, mechanisms, states of the loris, and so on, okay? So, segmental is what we have learned till now. I mean, the place of articulation, the role of the articulators, and the consonants and vowel fixtures, the sounds of the symbols in isolation, okay? So that is segmental fixtures, okay? Then we have the main components of suprasegmental fixtures, consists of stress, pitch, intonation, tone, and tempo, or rhythm, okay? So suprasegmental fixtures takes the segmentals, that will be the consonants and the vowels, and put them in a context, okay? So you have to be able to produce these sounds within words and within sentences, okay? Also, you have to not only have in mind the fixtures of the, for example, place of articulation and manner of articulation, but here you have to have in mind the stress of the words, the stress of the sentence, the intonation that you have to manage in a sentence. That, for instance, it can be a question. So this is a raised intonation. So you say, for instance, do you have a phone? So it is a rise intonation, okay? Or maybe you are denying something, so it's a fall intonation, okay? So this we're gonna be discussing later. Then you have the rhythm. The rhythm or tempo is goes with the speed of your speech, okay? So you have to manage the time, speed when you are talking. Sometimes we made so many pauses that we sound like a robot. Okay, so we need to avoid that robot speech. For instance, to say the main component of supraxmental fiction. No, no, no. It's not. It doesn't sound natural. Okay, and here we need to sound more natural. Okay, this is the IPA alphabet. Okay. Here we have the vowels, here we have the diphthongs, and here we have the consonant sounds, okay? So for this task, you have to focus on this alphabet, okay? And you have to regard on the vowels and diphthong sounds. So we have these vowels, and as you can see, some vowels have 2 points, okay, 2 periods. It means that the sound is longer, okay? So let's see this. This sound will be read, and this one will be sit, okay? This is longer and this is shorter. So you say read, you say sit. You say book, you say two. You say this one sounds very similar to our E. Okay, so we say man. In the Spanish, A. It sounds very similar. So we say men. That's it. We have this one that this is called schwa. This schwa is a very short sound. Okay, it's like a hint. So we say America, America, America. Okay, it is not America, but it is America. Okay, it is a short sound. Then we have this one that is like a 3. This one is very common. We have to pronounce it like So we say word, word. It is not word, but word, okay? And then we have this kind of O, but this is not like the O as the Spanish O, no. This is a little bit open, and you have to round your lips. So you say sword, sword. Or it is the same one for sport, okay? So it is different because in Spanish we will say sport, but this is not the same. We say sport, okay? And then we have this one that it is called ash. And this is very wide open vowel, okay? So you have to open your mouth, but in a wide way. I mean, the both sides of your mouth. So you say cat, cat. This is the sound, cat, okay? Or hat, right? Now we have this that is very similar to our Spanish a, the a. So we have but, okay? And then we have this one that is a little bit longer. So we have part, part. And it one they did sound like an O, but a little bit shorter than this. So we say not, not, okay? Then we have the diphthongs, that is the combination of two vowel sounds. So we have here, remember that this is a schwa, so the sound is very short. Then we have they, we have tor, this is the same schwa, so the sound is very short. We have boy, we have go, we have where, my, how, okay? Oh, okay, wait a second. Okay, wait a second, my dear. Wait a minute. Sorry. Okay. Once again. Cat, cat. We have this one that this is a kind of the schwa that is very short. We have so America. Then we have word. Then we have sword. We have part, and we have nut. Nut. Okay. So that's the way. So remember that these 2 points means that the sound is longer. Okay. Then we have the consonant sounds. We have p, p. So your both lips go together. P. Then we have b. It's the same. B with 2 lips. We have t, t, time. The tongue touches the this is the hard reach. And we had the is the same place. The. We had ch, 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 ch. Okay, it's for church. Church. This is a church, but it's explosive. Okay. Then we have judge. We have this is in our neck, right here in the glottis. We have go, go. This is a bitter sound as well. Go. We have five, five. So your upper teeth with your lower lip, 5. Then we have very, your upper teeth with your lower lip as well. But remember that is different. I mean, it's the same place of articulation, but the manner of articulation is different. This F, F, and this V. V has vibration right here, okay? Then we had think. This is theta. Think, think. We put our tongue in between our teeth, okay? So we say think. Then we had V, V, okay? V is very different for our D in Spanish because this has a vibration, okay? So it's a strong sound. So we say the. For example, those, them. What else? This, okay? It's very different for think, that we have think, we have Thor, we have throne, we have thing, con G, okay? Then we have S, we have zoo, zoo, and we have sh. It's different for ch, it's sh. Then we have casual, casual, okay? This is a difficult one. Then we have the M that goes with our lips, go together, then we had okay? Those M and N are nasal. Then we had thing, g, here, right here. Ha, hello, life, life, okay? This is a lateral sounds, okay? So maybe the air goes to the lateral sound, lateral sides of your tongue. Read, read. You don't touch your heart rate with your tongue, okay? Now, the tongue is in the middle of the mouth. So we say read. Then we have wa, window, and we have yes. Okay? So that's the sounds. Okay, this is the vocal tract. This is very important that you know how it works. In the first act, you have to add a picture of the vocal tract because I want you to know that, okay? So this is the nasal cavity. We have the teeth of the tongue. We have the lips, up and down. We have the front teeth. We have the back of our tongue. We have the vocal cords. We have the hard palate, the tooth ridge, the soft palate, okay? Here I have the places of articulation. So we have bilabial, we have labiodental, we have dental, alveolar, palatal, velar, uvular, and glottal, okay? All right, so here we have the difference between voiceless and voiced sounds. So for voiceless, we understand that vocal cords spread apart, air passes unimpeded. I mean, there is no vibration. The sounds are called voiceless, okay? Because there is no vibration. Our vocal cords are apart. For instance, voiceless could be p, p. We touch here, and when we pronounce p, there is no vibration. So that is when we know that it is voiceless. Then we have t, 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 t. No vibration. No vibration. Sh, ch, no vibration. Okay, so that's the way you will know that there is no vibration and this is voiceless. Then we have the voice sounds. That we understand the voice sounds as the vocal cords draw together, air passes them apart to pass through, creating a vibration. Okay, so these sounds are called voiced. Then, and examples of voice sounds, we have b, b, b. There is vibration. D, g, v, v, z, j. Sorry, j and j. Okay, so there is a difference. Okay, did you understand? It is clear? Okay. Then we have the places of articulation. Okay, so we have the bilabial consonants. Okay, I already explained to you this. So both lips are involved as M, for example, mute. Then we have labiodental, when the top of the teeth and the bottom lip come into contact, producing sounds. For example, V for vase, F in face. We have dental. For this, we have th in think or the in those. Okay. And dental, it is also called interdental. Okay, it's the same. Then we have alveolar, and we have, for this, we have the, z, n. Okay, this is alveolar. We have retroflex, described when consonants are articulated between the alveolar and ridge and hard palate with a tongue position in the backward or curl. Okay, and for this retroflex, we have R for ride or rule. Okay. Then we have the place of articulation. So we have palatal sounds, for instance. For palatal sound, we only have one in English. That is this one. Okay. For example, it corresponds to the letter G, Y, but the symbol is this. Okay. So for instance, yes, jacket, yacht. Okay. We have velar sounds that involve the back of the tongue moving towards the soft palate and lie behind the palate itself. In English, we have three velar phonemes. For instance, that is the one that we have like in our neck. Sorry, there is a question. Okay, retroflex. Yes, is for this sound. Oh, sorry. Is for this sound. Wait a sec. Okay. This is an example of retroflex. As I told you before, when we produce this R, the tongue is not touching anything. Okay, it is like in the middle, and maybe we roll back, but it is not touching anything. So this is the retroflex. Okay, this is the classification of the place of articulation of R. However, you will find the R in other place of articulation. That is, maybe there is called alveolar as well. Okay, but it's retroflex as well. Okay, let's say that this consonant sound has two different classifications. Some say this is a retroflex sound, others says that it's a alveolar sound. So no, it doesn't matter. The idea is that you produce the sound in an accurate way, okay? This is what I want. Then we have glottal. Okay, we have glottal sounds. And this is produced by putting pressure on the airflow in the glottis by closing and pivoting vocal cords. In English, two glottal sounds are present. For instance, we have T and we have ha. Okay, no, T, no, T, no. T is not. Maybe this is a mistake right here. T is not what that. The glottal sound is ha. Okay, ha, ha. This is one that is called glottal. Okay, I don't know why it appears T. Maybe I made a mistake, but no, is the one. The glottal sound is ha for hat. Okay, because T is a alveolar sound. Alveolar sound. Okay, then we have here the manner of articulation. Okay, there is a difference in the place and there is a difference in the manner. Place is where the sound is produced and the manner is how is this produced. Okay, so we have plosive. Plosive are the sounds that are where the air goes aggressive, okay? It's push out the lungs into the oral cavity, then it pushes the articulators like the tongue and alveolar right apart, producing a small explosive sound. For instance, P. Maybe in Spanish, the P is not so explosive. We just say papi, pepe, puerta. But in English, this sound is very explosive. So we say P, paper. So the air comes out the mouth in a strong way. Then we have T. T is also plosive. As I said, maybe in our Spanish language, the T is softer, but in English it's very strong. So we have T. K. This one is very strong. So if you pronounce it at the beginning or at the end, this must be very strong. So we say make. So you need to produce the sound for this. Make. For instance, B. So we say body. So it's a strong sound. Then we have D, that is a strong one, and G, okay? Then we have the nasal sounds. There's a M, N, Ng. Nasals, these are called nasals because the air goes through the nose, okay? That's the explanation. Then we have fricative. Fricative means that it's a friction, fricative with friction, right? So for this one, we have the F, S, Z, V, Sh, J, V, and C, okay? So there is a friction when you produce the sounds, okay? There's friction. Doesn't matter the articulators that are involved, but there is friction when you produce them, okay? So that's why it is called fricative. Then we have the approximants. The approximants are less consonantal. What does it mean? Less consonantal is that these are not so strong and that these are softer when you produce them. Let's say the R. In Spanish, when we produce this R, okay, let's do an exercise. Let's say carro, carro, in español, carro, carro. When you produce or pronounce carro in Spanish, the tongue goes to the hard palate, right? This touches the hard palate. Carro, carro. But in English, that will be carro, carro. If we produce this in Spanish, let's say that this is a native speaker from United States and comes to our country and says carro. He is not going to say carro as we do it. No. He will say carro, okay, because there is not a friction. So this approximation of the articulators, but there is no friction. So you just say r. So it is less consonantal. That's why. And we have wa. This is the W1. it is a semi-vowel as well. It is named as a semi-vowel because it is very difficult. Even we say window, window. Okay, it sounds like a vowel, right? But it's a consonant, so it is a semi-vowel or less consonantal. Then we had the ha or ja, that is the same G. The Latin approximant is also approximant, okay? And because it is produced when the tongue touches the alveolar ridge, but the size of the tongue are lower in order to allow the air to freely leave. So that's why I said, when you produce the air passes through the size of the tongue. So that's why it is approximate, okay? Okay, that's it. I don't know if you have any question. I know that is a lot of information, but this is a kind of summary. Okay, it's a kind of summary that you can just to remember that you are already reading. Okay, and so let's have in mind some fixtures, the fixtures of the vowels as well, and I invite you to share your contributions in the forum, to participate early, and in this way I can give you good feedback. Okay, as I did in the previous tags, that I just give you some pieces of advice and recommendations, and even I just try to give you some clues about how to develop the exercises that I gave you. Okay, so if you don't have any question, we will end the web conference. Do you have one, my dear Viviana? Okay, okay, Viviana. So thank you so much for coming, and I will be sharing this recording, and maybe you can then check it again and check some concept that will be very helpful for you. Okay, so thank you very much, and I think that in June we will have our second web conference that I hope that you come as well. Okay, so thank you very much. Bye bye.